Property prices could go down amid a projected supply increase. A fragile truce takes hold in Ukraine. And Rafa and Roger battle for a spot in Melbourne final. Good evening. Projections of an increase in housing supply have led to fears that prices could drop. And as Vicky Kung reports, there are now fresh concerns about how the government will meet its long-term target of 470,000 units. The West Kowloon Cultural District Authority wants to increase the development's density by 15%. The authority insisted doing so would not have a negative impact on the surrounding environment. Diane To reports. Hong Kong police are still gathering evidence in Indonesia in the case of the domestic helper who was allegedly abused here. Ariwana is still in hospital and her medical situation is said to be improving. A Hong Kong forensics expert and a police photographer confirmed they've collected the evidence they need at the hospital. Meantime, representatives from the local employment agency that Ariwana was contracted to have also met with police. The officers insist they've finished their work in Indonesia and could return to the territory as early as tomorrow. Anti-government protesters in Ukraine expanded their barricades in the capital, Kiev, after a meeting between protest leaders and President Viktor Yanukovych bore few results. Opposition leaders urged the crowd to maintain a truce with police while their negotiations continue. Alan Buchner reports. Thailand's Constitutional Court ruled unanimously today that country's election commission has the authority to postpone a snap election set for February 2nd. There's no immediate word on whether the vote would indeed be delayed. Meanwhile, opposition protesters marched on government buildings again today, demanding that the employees inside go on strike. They're trying to paralyze government business in Bangkok in an effort to force the administration of caretaker Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra to step down. The Democrat Party that's leading the protests is vowing to boycott the election, no matter if and when it's held. They're demanding total electoral reform. The Constitutional Court said the potential for violence and the absence of registered candidates in some areas meant the vote should be delayed. Teen pop star Justin Bieber was arrested in Florida yesterday on a drunk driving charge after he was caught drag racing in a Lamborghini. The 19-year-old Canadian singer was also charged with resisting arrest in what could result in a 6-month jail term. Sonia Otero reports. At least 5 people were killed when a fire raged through a senior's home in the Canadian province of Quebec. With 30 people still missing, the death toll is expected to go up substantially as police sift through the ruins. Many of the missing were wheelchair-bound. With temperatures of minus 20 Celsius, equipment froze and firefighters' water was freezing almost on contact with the building. About 20 people were rescued from the home, which had only a partial sprinkler system. And back locally, the public consultation on standard working hours will begin next week. It will gauge the views of employers and employees, especially those involved in sectors that feature long working hours. The Standard Working Hours Committee has been accused of dragging its feet over what's described as delaying tactics by the business sector. But at its 5th meeting today, it finally approved a timetable for public consultation.
Well, the main issue of the first round, if I could use that word, of consultation is to collect widely collect views from diverse groups of people, from the general public, from the employers and the employees.
That's due to start next Tuesday. The government's Committee on Standard Working Hours will hold 3 consultation sessions with employers' associations and labour groups. And from April to June, the committee will meet with other groups such as those from the catering and retail industries and the community at large. It wants to come up with a report on the economic feasibility of statutory working hours and the impact on salaries.
It's only after when we collect all the views, then we can have some general idea of how to move forward. So it will be very difficult for me now to say the future timetable.
Meanwhile, the Census and Statistics Department has conducted a survey among different industries on the relationship between wages and working hours. It is expected to report the results to the Standard Working Hours Committee in March. And now sports. In Melbourne, Rafael Nadal defeated Roger Federer to advance to the Australian Open men's final. And Tiger Woods fired an even par 72 at the PGA Tour event in San Diego. The world's number one is playing in his first tournament of the new season. Here's Jameson Wong. Time for the weather. We'll have mainly cloudy skies tomorrow, but with sunny intervals to break up the cold. Temperatures will range between 16 and 20 degrees. That's the news. Thanks for watching.